ever get that feeling, like you start becoming a little bit too much like your friends?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like you pick up their habits, good or bad, uh, their taste in music. Suddenly you find yourself like actually liking that band they're always talking about.
Right.
And even their ways of thinking,
Yeah.
you know? It's kind of wild when you stop and think about it.
It really is. It's like we become the company we keep, you know?
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, everyone. It's
Yeah.
all about those people you choose to surround yourself with and why it matters so much.
It's more than just good vibes, right? I mean, think about it. The people we're constantly around, they have this incredible impact on us. It's like the subtle but powerful force shaping our well-being, the decisions we make, even, honestly, even our future selves.
It's true. And one of the things that really struck me from the research you shared was just how much our friends influence our own success. Like,
Yeah.
there's that one study, I think it was from,
Oh, yeah, yeah. From source name.
yeah, source name. And it was saying that people who regularly hang out with, like super motivated
For
people,
go-getters.
yeah, the go-getters, were way more likely to achieve their own goals. Like, significantly more likely. Something like 20% or
The
something.
20%, which is huge,
Yeah.
right? Just from being around those who are driven.
Exactly. It's like some of that drive just rubs off on you.
Right.
But, it's not always about, like, becoming a carbon copy of your friends.
Right. Right.
It's also about having those friends who challenge you, who see the world differently.
Yes. 100%. It's so easy to get stuck in that echo chamber, you know?
Uh-huh. Tell me about it.
Surrounded by people who just agree with everything you say. It feels good at the time, right?
Yeah.
But in the long run, it's not doing us any favors. We need those different perspectives, even if it leads to a little bit of, healthy debate. That's where the real growth happens.
It's so true. It makes me think of this one time. I was, I think I was about to make a pretty big decision, career-wise. And I was talking to my friend Sarah about it, and she just, like, totally challenged my assumptions. I was so set on this one path, and she just kind of, like, opened my eyes to other possibilities. If I hadn't had that conversation with her, who knows where I'd be right now? And, it's interesting because for a long time, I used to think having a massive group of friends was, like, the goal. But honestly, what I'm realizing more and more is that it's not about the quantity. It's about the quality.
It's so true. And actually, there's a lot of research to back that up. Like, our brains are literally wired to crave those deep, meaningful connections. The smaller, tighter circles where you feel truly seen and understood. That's where we find the most fulfillment, the most support.
It's so true. And, it makes me think about social media and how that plays into all of this. Because on one hand, you can connect with people, which is great. But on the other hand, it's so easy to get caught up in the comparison game.
Oh, 100%. It's like this highlight reel, right? You're constantly seeing the best, most curated versions of people's lives, and it's easy to forget that everyone's dealing with their own stuff behind the scenes.
Right.
It's crucial to be mindful of that, you know? How's it making us feel? Are we using it to genuinely connect, or are we just getting sucked into this vortex of comparison and self-doubt?
Yeah, that's a good question to ask yourself. So much to think about, huh?
There really is.
So as we start to wrap things up here, what would you say is like the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
If there's one thing I hope everyone takes away from this, it's this. Pay attention to the company you keep, both online and offline. Who are the people you're spending your time with? Are they lifting you up? Are they challenging you in a good way? Or are they, maybe without even realizing it, holding you back? Asking yourself those questions, I think, can be incredibly powerful.
It really can. It's been great chatting about all this with you today. It really got me thinking.
Me too. Always a pleasure.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time.